Hi guys. For today, you need to get out a blank piece of paper. You can just call it on the top graphing with Desmos or graphing practice. You can really call it whatever you want. But the main reason you need to write stuff down as we work through here is because as we go through the video, I'm going to pause in real time and let you guys try some things, let you work out some things. And as you write your answers down on your paper, you will then use those answers. Not only will you show me a photo of all the work you're doing, but you will also use those answers that you're writing down on your paper. You will need those answers to complete the Canvas quiz after this. So write down everything today, all right? So what you need to do is you have a piece of paper and a pencil in front of you, and then I hope you already opened up Desmos. Now this can be a little tricky because you have to watch the video of me and use Desmos on your computer at the same time. They go together. So if you're tricky and fancy and can figure out how to split your screens with the Desmos on one side and me on one side, that can work, or you can just go back and forth between the two and pause me as needed. But definitely write things down. As you figure them out, you're going to write them down. And I'll keep reminding you of that because, again, you will need those answers to help you complete the quiz. So paper in front of you, pencil in hand, Desmos graphing calculator open. So this is what you're looking at, just blank open graphing canvas. If you are not at this screen, message me or come over and ask me if you need help getting there, but the link should open just this. It's a Desmos graphing calculator and it is so handy. The first thing I want you to do, see my mouse here? I want you to come over here and I want you to click this minus once. Ready? The reason that I did that is because now my grid is actually more what I'm used to looking at. You can see, I'm going to click the plus again and bring it back. You don't have to, but this is where it was before. So you can see if this is 0 and this is 2, this is automatically what Desmos starts with. But that means every one of these boxes is actually a half, which is really cool that you can change the scale like this. But when it's a half, that's not quite what we're used to. So zoom out once. And then if this is 0, this is 5, and this is really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we want. That's what we're used to, all of these boxes equaling 1. Now come over here and click your mouse in this box so that you actually can see a cursor there. I'm going to show you what I want you to type in right now. You're going to type an ordered pair. So you're going to do parenthesis, 0, that's an O, 0, comma, 0, close the parenthesis. And your dot might not be red. You can change the color and stuff over here. You guys can play around with that. But you should see the ordered pair. Look, they put an ordered pair in there for me. I said make an ordered pair, and they did, right? Like magic on the graph. Press enter, and you're going to put in another ordered pair. Parenthesis, 3, comma, 6. So far, you don't have anything that you need to write down on your paper. You're just putting these things in Desmos. So now you should see 2 ordered pairs. Press enter again. This is my challenge for you right now. My challenge is to see if you can get a line that passes through these 2 points. So right now, again, you're not writing anything on your paper yet. You're just kind of playing around in Desmos. So the form that we've been learning about this week is y equals mx plus b. And we've learned that those particular types of equations match up with a table that matches up with a graph that makes a line. So I know that my equation, I need to start by typing y equals. Okay, nothing showed up yet because I don't have enough to make a line. I need it to follow the format of y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to give you guys just a minute here. And in fact, I'm going to put a timer on so that I officially give you a minute. And I'm going to sit here. And I need you to, here we go, 1 minute. I need you to start typing in equations and see if you can get a line that passes through those 2 points. Ready? Go. You should be typing stuff in. Just see what you get. And if at any point you get it, you could probably skip past this minute. I feel like I did it, it worked. 15 more seconds. Okay, for these first couple, stop. I should probably know how my phone works better than that. For these first couple, I'm going to help you and make sure you got there. And then you can write down on your paper, what you need to write down is the equation that got you there. So if I just type an X right now, look at that, an equation or a line popped in. But it does not pass through both points. It passes through one point, but that's not quite what I wanted. I need it to pass through another point. Did you get there? Did you find it? So if I wanted to pass through the other point, I need to start changing some things. I could change things in this way where I start adding stuff. Well, that didn't work at all because now it doesn't pass through either point. So I'm going to go back to this. And the other thing I can change, remember, is you can change the number in front. Right now there is a 1 there. If I type a 1, it didn't change that line at all because it's already there. We know that mathematically. So I could change it to a 2. It worked. Look at that. And maybe some of you got there well before the minute was up. This equation passes through those 2 points. So what do you need to write down on your paper right now? You need to write down this equation right here. So you're going to write number 1 on your paper and write y equals 2x. Write it down. That is what you'll need for the Canvas quiz in a minute. So write it down, y equals 2x. What'd you write down? Oh, y equals 2x. And let's try this again. I'm just going to click the X and the X and the X and start this over. Here's your next ordered pair. Type this into Desmos, 0, 2. Press enter. Ooh, look, it's purple now. And then I'm going to go 5, 7. Press enter. Your new challenge is to, and I'm going to set your minute right now. Can you please get the equation? Of course, it's going to start with y equals. Find an equation that passes through those. You have 1 minute. Go. Remember, if you get it before this minute is up, you can skip the minute. Three, two, one, stop. Okay, so I'm giving you a minute real time instead of saying pause me and try it because sometimes when I do that, you guys assume I'm just going to show you the answer after and then you don't actually try it. So I want you to feel the real time practice as if we were live in class. And plus this is I'm only going to help you really. I'm going to give you some hints on the other ones, but I'm not going to show you all of the answers on these, okay? So this one, I just kind of always start by typing X. And this one, if I start changing this to 3, 4, it's not working. I'm not hitting either of the dots. So this is one where instead of changing that number in front, which I hope you have a good math vocab in your brain for what's going on there, I'm going to start doing this and changing this part. That didn't work, but it really did shift my line in a way that looks helpful to me. So what if I change it to that? Well, I hit both points. So what are you writing on your paper? You're writing number 2, y equals x plus 2. And as promised, that is the last answer I'm going to give you. But I am going to give you some hints before we get the next 2 ordered pairs, okay? Remember that you can also type fractions in here. So you could have, like, if you just use the -1, if you automatically hit the dash in Desmos, it turns it into a fraction. So you could have 1/3, and then you could put an X on it, and then you can add stuff to that, or you can subtract stuff, things like that. okay? So I'm going to give you that hint, but that's the last answer I'm actually going to show you what works, okay? So here we go. This is number 3. First, type in these ordered pairs so that you have them on your Desmos. 2, 4, enter. And 6, 3, enter. And now you're going to, ooh, look at those. That's tricky. Is that what I meant to do? No, that is absolutely not what I meant to do. I meant to do 3, 6. Is that what I meant to do? That looks more like what I meant to do. So your challenge here is to try and get the equation y equals, you know what, that is still not what I meant to do. Oh, Miss McGowan. Third time's a charm. Luckily, I have the math skills to figure this out, right? Right? This one is totally what I meant to do. Promise. You have 1 minute. Stop, cancel, start. 1 minute. Get an equation that passes through those 2 points. 10 seconds. By the way, if you don't quite get there, can you still pause me and still try to figure it out? Yeah, but again, I want you to feel the real time there. So this one, I'm not going to show you, but whatever equation you got to, you need to write it down on your paper for number 3, because you're going to type it into a Canvas quiz in just a minute. So that was number 3. If you found the equation that passes through those 2, write it down on your paper. Here we go, number 4. You got to change your ordered pairs. You got to make -1, 3. There's 1 dot. Press enter. And then your other dot is 2, -6. Press enter. Both blue. Honestly, Desmos. And now your job is to find the equation that passes through those. 1 minute, starting now. Four, three, two, one. I hope you found it. Even if you didn't, you can still pause me and try to find it. But whatever equation you got that passes through those 2 points, some of you might need a little bit of a hint. Because if I start doing this, and I'm like this, and then I'm like this, and then I'm like this, I'm never getting to those points. Why? Because it goes the other direction. Remember? I need to go this way with a negative and then start messing with that slope. Okay, so if you got the equation that passes through those 2 points, which isn't this, write it down on your paper. That was number 4. Here we go. And you know what? I'm going to start giving you a little bit less time, just 45 seconds, because I feel like we're getting a little bit better. 45 seconds. Really I can't go backwards. Okay, but first we need some ordered pairs, all right? So this is number 5, -8, 2, enter. 4 comma negative 1, enter. You see those? I need an equation that passes through those. 45 seconds, unless you need longer and want to pause me. 45 seconds, give it a try. I hope that maybe you are realizing that you can use some of the stuff we learned last week about slope to help you with this. Connect what we did last week with how do I make sure my line passes through these two dots? How do I do that? How could I maybe use rise over run to help me? Okay, I hope you got the equation on that one. Whatever equation you got, write it down on your paper. That was number 5. I think, I hope. Yep, that was number 5. Now we're on number 6, and we're going to do 8 of these like this, just so you know, so you have a heads up of when will this ever end, Miss McGowan? Okay, this is number 6. So here's your ordered pairs: -1, comma, -4. Hit enter, and 3, comma, 0. Please come up with the equation that passes through those points. Here's your time. Are you changing the M? And then are you changing the B? Mess around with it, pass through those points, 10 seconds. All right, I hope you did it. Whatever equation you got here, whatever equation passes through those 2 points, that's what you write down on your paper. Whatever y equals mx plus b you came up with, write it down on your paper. Okay, just 2 more. This is number 7. Here we go. Here's your ordered pair, number 7, 0, comma, -1. That should be a pretty big hint, maybe, if you're paying attention to how this goes together. That should be helpful. 0, comma, -1, and 3, comma, 5. Will you please come up with the equation that passes through those points? Five, 4, 3, 2. I hope you found it. Whatever equation you got that passes through those 2 points, please write it down on your paper. Make sure you have it written down. Make sure you have it written down so you don't have to watch this video again. All right, number 8, last one of these. 0, comma, 2 is one of your ordered pairs. Again, that should be a really helpful ordered pair. I hope you can see why. If not, think about it for a second. Here's another ordered pair. And your job is, of course, to find the equation of the line that passes through those 2 points. Mess around typing it in until you get the one that fits. Here we go, last one of these. Dance for the last 15 seconds. To the music in my mind. 5, 3, 2, how do we do? Did we get it? Did you find it? Okay, so what you should have written down on your paper right now is you should have problems 1 through 8, and you should have equations written down, the equations you've got that pass through these. And you will find out when you do your quiz in just a second if you found the right equations. But first, we have a few more questions. I'm just going to change things up a little bit, okay? What I'm going to do now, and you're welcome to type these in if you want to as well, but all you really have to do is look at them. I'm going to give you some equations. I'm going to give you 4 equations. And as soon as I type them in, you can see how they show up on my graph. Here is what I want to know about these 4 equations. I would like to know what they all have in common. And you're going to call that number 9. You're going to write it on your paper. Write number 9 and write down in words for me, what do all of these graphs have in common? What do these graphs have in common? You're writing it down on your piece of paper. What do these graphs have in common? You got that one? If you need more time, go ahead and pause me because we're moving on to question number 10. Number 10, I'm going to give you 4 more graphs. Ready? There's one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Oh, that got pretty weird, didn't it? There's a preview to some math you'll do when you're a junior. There's another one. And one more. How about... And yes, I want to know, what do all of these graphs have in common? Use your very best math language when you write down your answer. What do these graphs have in common? Did you get that written down? You can, of course, pause me if you need a little bit more time. But write down on your paper, what do these graphs have in common? 2 more of these. Okay, I'm only going to give you 3 equations this time. There's one. I can probably start to tell as I type these. There's another one, and one more. What do those graphs have in common? Write it down on your paper. Again, trying to use your very best math language. What do these 3 graphs have in common? What do they have in common? Did you write it down? Write it down on your paper. This is the last one, question number 12. Question number 12, here is 3 more graphs. You ready? I'm going to give you one more just for the fun of it. What do those graphs have in common? Use your very best math language. What do those 4 graphs have in common? And as you're looking at that, take a look at the equations that I wrote down and see why that happens. See if you can tell why that's what they have in common. Okay, so you should now have 12 answers written down on your paper. I hope that you do, because you need those 12 answers in order to complete the practice quiz today. So you've got it all written down. You can submit your answer, submit your work for this assignment question, and then click next, and you'll go to a Canvas quiz where you will type in all of the 12 answers that you just wrote down. Let me know if you have any questions.